Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT network, as well as my own channel, Broncos Breakdown on YouTube. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments along with yours in the chat. I am your host, Bronco Bill. As you guys can tell, I am not in my normal spot, which is the den of my house. As you can tell, the background's completely different. I'm actually at my brother-in-law's house about 27 to 30 miles south of where I live. They're on a bereavement funeral back east, and so I'm watching their house with their animals. So anyways, that's why the background's different. That's why I probably look different. The lighting is different. It's not the norm, but we're going to get through this, guys, and it's going to be a good show. Look forward to your comments in the chat, and we'll just go on from there. One thing I do have to say, periodically, I am going to have to look at my phone. There's a fire in the area where I live about 5 miles from my house. Since I'm not there and I'm about 45 minutes to an hour away from my wife, I have to keep her updated, have to, advise her what needs to take place. She knows what to do. But since I'm not there, security blanket is a little bit discombobulated. So anyways, I may have to go to my phone periodically. I get updates about the fire. I'm just letting you guys know that if that's what happens, and that's what I have to do, then that's what I got to do, guys. I mean, I love doing this show, and I enjoy it. I enjoy each and every Friday and all the guys in the chat and everybody that watches. But sometimes, you just got to put family first, obviously. All right, let's go to the – what are you barking for? I think I think my son and grandkids are here too, so that's great. Anyways, G-Money88 says, what's up, Bronco Bill? Hope all's well. Stidham ain't going to be the starter unless Bo gets hurt. No point in playing a career backup when you spent a first-round pick on Knicks. True. I've got some information about that. I do have some information about that. So we will get to that in just a little bit. But yeah, good. Great point. Great point. And like I said, we'll get to that in just a few minutes. Let's start out Sean Payton's downplay of Bo Nix and Franklin, his wide receiver from Oregon, right? The chemistry between Nix and wide receiver Franklin is exciting to Broncos fans. However, Sean Payton is downplaying the duo. Why would he do that? Well, let me answer that. Payton said, and I quote, "A lot is made of that. I get it. They are two young players working to improve. I think that being familiar with another player helps, but so much of that ends up being coincidence," end quote. I'm not buying the coincidence thing. I'm really not. I mean, if you have chemistry, you have chemistry. And that's the bottom line. And if Bo Nix is comfortable with Franklin, then why wouldn't there be a good mix going into the season? Now, yes, both of them are rookies. Both of them have never had NFL experience. I understand that. But still, nonetheless, they have chemistry. They know each other. It's kind of like, Russell Wilson and Courtland Sutton last year. Now, and I know that Courtland Sutton and Russell Wilson, they were kind of like spokes trying to make a mesh. And yeah, it did work out sometimes where Courtland Sutton had to make ridiculous catches. I get it. And Russell Wilson wasn't the most accurate passer when it came to that, although he did put it in the right spot for Courtland Sutton to make the catches. What I'm saying is, if you have a chemistry throughout college or however many years they had together, then that should transfer to the NFL. It may not always transfer to the NFL, but it may transfer to the NFL. But I think what Sean Payton is doing, he's trying not to make it I don't want to say a priority. He's trying not to make it a part of focus. He doesn't want it to be a focus because then, everybody's going to say, oh, well, they have the chemistry, no big deal. So Tim Patrick's not going to get it. Courtland Sutton's not going to get it. That's not the truth. That's not the truth at all. So I think the whole thing is it's just Sean Payton's way of diffusing, the anticipation or the expectations. He's trying to fuse the expectations. And I understand that. That's perfect. Do what you got to do to diffuse the expectations, because if the expectations are up here and you have a rookie quarterback and a rookie wide receiver, and it's not going to be, it might not be mesh. It might not be, what you want to be in the first year. And that's obvious. I mean, things like that happen. Now, how about this? Bo Nix gets advice from quarterbacks. Okay. Who's he getting advice from? Bo Nix is leaning on former quarterbacks who have been Super Bowl champions. Who would they be? Well, who was Sean Payton familiar with, and who did he have on his staff? Let me continue. Those quarterbacks are Drew Brees, there you go, and Peyton Manning, of course. Nick's talking about Brees said, I'm excited to be around him. Everything he tells me, I'm probably not going to know. So I'm going to do my best to take it all in, end quote. Nick's also said about Peyton Manning, I got a text from Manning when I got drafted. How cool is that? Huh? How cool is that? I don't care what age you are. You get a text from Peyton Manning, you're going to be excited. I continue, and I'm still quoting. He's very good at being available to young players. I'm excited to seriously be around him and spend some time with him, end quote. Absolutely. If you can pick Peyton Manning's brain, seriously, if you can just get a microcosm of what he thinks and how he thinks and what he does by preparation, getting ready for the game, and his work ethic and his mind preparation or his note taking or whatever he does, do it. Bo Nix, do it. There is no other greater quarterback, in my opinion, who is more cerebral, meaning brain thinking, than Peyton Manning. Absolutely. And if it comes down to, well, is Bo Nix going to be a Peyton Manning? I'm not saying he's going to be a Peyton Manning. I'm saying learn from him, because you can't go wrong. You absolutely cannot go wrong by learning from Peyton Manning. And if he's willing to be available for these young players, these players coming out of the draft, why not take advantage? Why not take advantage? Absolutely. Hands down. There's no way in the world that Bo Nix should be passing this up, and he's not. He's not. And that's the great thing. He's tapping into Drew Brees, who knows Sean Payton, can give give Bo Nix some advice and information about what to expect from Sean Payton, what to expect, what he expects, and what you need to do. That's perfect. From Peyton Manning, that's on the football side. That's on the football side of, this is what you need to do, young man. This is what you need to accomplish. This is how you have to focus your game plan, your mind, your attention. This is what you have to do. I think it's brilliant. Absolutely think it's brilliant. No doubt about it. Drew Brees, who knows Sean Payton, Peyton Manning, who knows football. Wow. If Bo Nix can tap into both of them and get as much knowledge as he possibly can, wow. Maybe he could be another Patrick Mahomes. Maybe he could be another CJ Stroud in his first year. I don't know. We won't know that till the season starts and progresses and gets down the line. But man, if he's willing to tap into those two guys, Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. All right, Graham is in the chat. Says Knicks will start despite all the other noise. All right, I'm gonna get into some of that there, Graham. Absolutely gonna get into that. Rudy, my brother-in-law from Las Vegas, says, welcome to Las Vegas, 115 degrees. Woo! Doggies. You freaking kidding me, dude? 115 degrees? Man, you can't even freaking breathe. Don't go outside, dude. Don't go outside. Whatever you do, do not go outside. Excuse me. Here, where I'm at, it is 79 degrees. My house, I think it's 89, but I'm about 30 miles south of where I live, so it's 79 degrees. Grandkids are here. They're outside. They came through the back. They're outside in the pool of my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house, in the pool of my son. So they didn't want to disturb me, but I was hoping they would come in and at least show themselves on the show, but they may later. But no, they're having a good time out there. All right, let's continue. Graham says, I won't take advice from Manning on running. Well, I wouldn't do that either. I wouldn't do that. But I think, Graham, though, that I think when Peyton Manning runs, he was a lot older. I think Bo Nix is capable and able to handle some runs if he needs to. But no, I wouldn't say that he needs to be the featured running back. That's for dang sure. That's for dang sure. All right. Sean Payton is almost doing cartwheels over Quinn Meinerz. Listen to this. Broncos right guard Quinn Meinerz had a terrific 2023 season and became among the sport's best interior blocker. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? But he learned the game. He turned it around. He did what he had to do. And he had a fantastic season in 2023. Payton said of Meinerz, and I quote, I thought he had a really good year. I remember when he came out of college. Certainly, he's a powerful, sticky run blocker. He does a lot of things really well. I love that he's our right guard, end quote. Wow. That speaks volumes about Quinn Meinerz. Now, he wasn't that a couple of years ago, but he has really, really turned into being a fantastic right guard. And if Sean Payton is raving about him, that speaks volumes because, you know, Sean Payton is not one to really divvy up, kudos and attaboys and, handing out so-called trophies to players or anything like that. But I'll tell you what, man. Quinn Meinerz really stepped it up last year. And, if he can produce the same kind of year in 2024, man, I'm telling you what, we're going to have a solid offensive line. And I'm going to get into something. ESPN is not thrilled with the Denver Bronco offense, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But a lot of different topics and a lot of different areas to go, but we will definitely touch that subject. No doubt about it. Graham chimes in chat and says, but Bill, Nix is ancient rookie at 24. He is an ancient rookie at 24. I get that, but he's not NFL experience. So when he taps into Drew Brees and he taps into Peyton Manning, that's because he wants to learn the NFL system, the NFL of the way of doing things, not the college way of doing things, the NFL way of doing things. And I think that's why he's tapping into both Drew Brees, because he wants to get an insight on Sean Payton, which is commendable. I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree. Learn anything and everything you can. Drew Brees was there with Sean Payton for all those years. Super Bowl run, a Super Bowl championship. Don't discard that. Engulf it. Suck it up. I'm not suck it up. Suck it in. Like a sponge. Take in everything you can. With with Peyton Manning, it's about quarterback. It's about what you need to do to get ready. How do I prepare? What's the NFL like? What do I need to do differently than college? Sean Payton, Peyton Manning can give that advice to Bo Nix. It's up to Bo Nix to embrace it, to run with it, do whatever he has to do to make it work. But it's up to him, and that's what I love about this kid. I love about it. He is not sitting back and waiting. Well, let me see if somebody's going to contact me and kind of mentor me. No, he's reaching out. He's reaching out to these guys. He's saying, "Hey, what can I do to get better? What do I need to do to get better? How do I even make it in the NFL at that level with that speed, with the verbiage from the head coach and the different rules in the NFL?" That's great that he's reaching out. That's fantastic. I embrace it like nobody's business. Absolutely embrace it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, D-Rock is in that chat. Says, Big Bill. I said, what's up, Big D-Rock? Madungus Creevy falls in, said, that light makes you look very wrinkly and old. Thanks, Madungus. Thanks a lot. I bet that makes me look old too, huh? Even older. That's why I put my hat back on. Oh my gosh, you guys crack me up, man. You guys always come in with some. Yeah, I know. I can't do nothing about the lighting, man. I can't. I mean, I probably could have brought my light, but hey, it is what it is. I'm only doing one show here. I'm back home next Friday. Well, not next Friday. I'm back home next Monday or Tuesday, but the show next Friday, I'm back home. So it'll have the normal lighting and the normal wrinkles, as opposed to what Madungus says, more wrinkles and make me look older. Anyways, it's all good. All right. All right. D-Rock says, chat, let's talk Broncos. You're right. You're blinded by the light. Thanks, Madungus. You freaking guy. All right. Yes, back to Broncos. Here we go. ESPN talking about the Broncos offense and Quinn Meinerz. ESPN ranks the Denver Broncos offense. You're not going to believe this. According to ESPN's Bill Barnwell, no matter who the Broncos have at quarterback comes this season, that quarterback will be surrounded by the third best? No. Third worst collective of running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Seriously. Third worst running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends? All right, let me continue. The Broncos are ranked number 30, just ahead of the Chargers at 31 and the Giants at 32. Okay. Noting a distinct lack of proven firepower, not named Courtland Sutton, I quote, "The days when Denver had a promising young group of playmakers have passed," Barnwell said, and I still quote, "Overall, there are a lot of questions, even before we get to who's playing quarterback." Wow. So he feels, being from ESPN, he feels that the Broncos offense is ranked 30th because they don't have a solid running game. He didn't say that. He just said running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. I have to disagree. We have Tim Patrick back. We still have Courtland Sutton. We have other receivers. Our running backs, to me, are solid. Our tight end might be questionable. That still needs to be seen, but we have Franklin, and Franklin's a tight end, but he hasn't played in the NFL yet. That's the difference. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe that's what Barnwell was talking about, is that it's unproven. Unproven, because we don't have a seasoned veteran quarterback as our starting quarterback, no matter who it is. Zach Wilson, he's not that seasoned. Jarrett Stidham, he's not that seasoned. And certainly not Bo Nix. Bo Nix hasn't played a single down in the NFL. So we don't know how that chemistry is going to work out, or how is any of us going to play out. So maybe that's what Barnwell is basing it on. But man, I'll tell you what, I can't say Denver's 30th. They're behind the Jets. And I know the Jets have Aaron Rodgers and he's coming off Achilles tendon. We don't know how that's going to work out. We don't know if that's going to be any good or not, or how he's going to perform. So behind the Jets, behind Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta has Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins is coming off Achilles as well. So we don't know. How can Denver be 30th? That just blows my mind. 30th in offense with the running backs, the wide receivers, and the tight ends. Wow. I really don't see that. I don't. Man. D-Rock says, sorry, that wasn't intended like that. D-Rock says, chat, let's talk Broncos. It's okay. No, it's all good, man. I get it. It's all good. Hey, whatever you guys want, man, throw it at me. I'll bring it. I'll bring it. You know that. I bend. I cater to the chat because, without you guys chiming in and things like that, I might as well be, talking to a wall, and that's not any fun. I like the interaction. So it's okay, D-Rock. No apology necessary. It's all good. I got this. It's okay. Now, we were just talking about the offense. Now, speaking of the defense, okay? Now, the defense was horrible last year. We can say what we want, but the defense was horrible. I mean, giving up 70 points against the Miami Dolphins, pathetic. Vance Joseph thinks things will be better this year. Here we go. Vance Joseph feels the addition of two key players will help the Broncos to get off to a much better start in 2024. Who are those two players? All right, here we go. The addition of Malcolm Roach and John Franklin Myers is Denver's biggest defensive game changer. I would totally have to agree. These guys are run stoppers. They are a plug in the offense who's trying to open up the gaps for the run game. They're solid in the trenches. I say it's absolutely a game changer. Let me continue. Joseph said, and I quote, having those two guys inside to hold a point for us and to change the line of scrimmage, that's important. So that should help us tremendously, end quote. Absolutely. If they can hold their ground and not allow the offense to move them down the line and get separation and create a gap for the running game, that's absolutely perfect. That's what you want. You need to stop the run, especially the Kansas City Chiefs, especially the Ravens, who we got to play this year, especially the Falcons, who like to run. You've got to stop these teams. The Bengals, the Browns, they all like to run. You've got to stop the run. Make it a one-dimensional game, and you have a much better chance to turn it into a one-dimensional game. And if you do, the chances are much higher because now you pretty much know what the team's going to do. Sure, they may dump it off, do a running back, they may throw it across the middle, but if they're throwing, they're going to throw. If they run and they get no yardage or 1 or 2 yards, and now it's 2nd and 8. Then they try run again and they get no yards. Now 3rd and 8. Now they got to pass. So that becomes one-dimensional. That's what you want to happen. With these two guys, Roach and Franklin. Roach and, did I say Franklin? Franklin Myers. Those two can shut down the run game or slow it down. That's huge for the Broncos. Now, that being said, Vance Joseph didn't say anything about the offense because that's not his territory. His territory is defense. If the Broncos defense could shut down the opposing team and keep the Broncos close, like they did last year when the 5-game win streak, when the Broncos ran off 5 straight wins because the defense was keeping the offense in the game. If that's the case, the Broncos may have a chance to actually have a winning season this year. We don't know that. We haven't played any games. But I'm just saying there's a possibility that if the Broncos defense is much more improved because of these two guys, as well as the system and the scheme, this may end up being a winning season for the Denver Broncos. How would that feel, guys? Broncos country, I know I would be ecstatic just to have a winning season. And I know that that's not a Super Bowl run. I'm saying a winning season. Baby steps. We got to take baby steps. Winning season, wild card, division, deep in the playoffs, Super Bowl. That's how you got to climb the ladder. You can't just jump up. We're not that kind of team right now. We need to find our identity. We need to create our identity, and we need to make baby steps to get to that next level. One step at a time, guys. One step at a time. All right? Okay. My brother-in-law Rudy said, "Bring me those ribs you keep smoking." I'm smoking some ribs out there in the Traeger as I'm doing the show, and since I got my son and grandkids over here, I'm gonna probably serve up some of that after the show. So can't bring any of it to Vegas, especially when it's 115 degrees. I ain't going there, dude. Sorry, but it's only 79 here, so I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Okay, D-Rock says, I think JFM will be the key for edge rushers, I believe. And ED rushers, end rushers, right? Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I agree. I agree, D-Rock. I agree. That's what we're talking about. We have to have key players that mesh together, that work together. Chemistry's there, the whole bit. We got to have that for sure. No doubt about it. And I totally agree. Big E is in the chat. Big E says, how's everybody doing tonight? Doing fantastic. Just in a different area. I'm at my brother-in-law's house about 30 miles south of where I live, taking care of his animals while they're back east, upstate New York in Jamestown, in a funeral for his wife's aunt. So I'm sitting here hit the microphone. Sorry, guys. I'm taking care of their house and everything. So that's why the background is different. But I will be back in my normal spot next Friday. So this is just happened to, I'm here from to Tuesday afternoon. So anyways, all right, let's continue. We are going to continue this week's Jackass of the Week. All right, guys, if you notice below my name right here, it says NFL suspends Sutton for 8 games. Yep. Sutton has been suspended for 8 games. You guys asking me the same questions everybody else. For what? What did he do wrong? Well, take a deep breath, guys. It is not Courtland Sutton. Steelers cornerback Cameron Sutton has been suspended 8 games for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. Sutton had been charged with domestic and turned himself in last March 31st after being wanted for weeks. This all took place in Florida. Everything like this takes place in Florida, it seems. Strange. Anyways, I continue. He was with the Lions when this occurred and was let go by Detroit upon the findings of his domestic violence. The Steelers signed Sutton last March to a 1-year deal. What? Hey, Pittsburgh, are you freaking stupid? Why would you hire this guy? Oh, he's a great cornerback. He does this, he does that. Who cares? He is a not convicted, but he was arrested on domestic violence. The NFL has suspended him for 8 games. Isn't that a message to you, Pittsburgh? Oh, you don't care. That's right. You don't care because you just want to win games and have a player on the field who is a, quote, wife or girlfriend or whatever beater. You can't have that. Don't put him on your team. Send a very strong message saying, no, we're not dealing with this. We're not putting up with this. This is not how we run our organization. But just like the Raiders, Pittsburgh's following that same footsteps. Just like Cleveland when they got Deshaun Watson, same thing. It's all about the money. It's all about wins. It's all about fans in the stands. They could care less, some of these teams, about players. Detroit did the right thing and cut him. Absolutely did the right thing by cutting him. Houston did the right thing by getting rid of Deshaun Watson. They did the right thing. Nope. Not Pittsburgh. Not Pittsburgh. No. Pittsburgh goes ahead and signs him to a 1-year deal, even though he's got an 8-game suspension. That means he's only going to play what? 9 games? So you signed a guy for 1 year for 9 games. Freaking Pittsburgh, you're more stupid than I thought. All those fumes coming up from those smokestacks and coal mines or whatever's back there in steel mills in Pittsburgh, it got to your freaking brains, guys, because that was a freaking stupid move. What are you thinking? You're going to hire a guy for basically a half a season. 1-year deal, half a season. Well, guess what? We won't face him because we play Pittsburgh in week 2. And we know we ain't facing them. Not that I could care less, but we ain't facing them. Stupid. Why would you hire him? Freaking Pittsburgh. Oh, my gosh, man. Okay, well, whatever. Well, good for you guys. Good for you, Pittsburgh. Yeah, you're going to pay the guy to not play. Brilliant. Now, I don't know if he's getting paid by being suspended by the NFL. He may not be getting paid. But that's beside the point. Why would you hire a guy who the NFL has suspended? The Detroit Lions cut him because of his domestic violence. And Pittsburgh said, oh, yeah, it's cool. We got him. It's all good, man. It's all good. We got him. No problem. Yeah, we got him on our team. Yeah, for 9 games. Stupid. Wow. All right, guys, I'm going to back out of the Jackass of the Week, and we're going to go back into the topic of the show. Be right back. All right, guys, the main topic of the show is Stidham making his case for being the quarterback starter. And I know that some people in the chat, I believe it was let me go back up here. I believe it was Graham that said that that no matter what, Bo Nix is starting. Not so fast. Not so fast. Listen to this. Is Jarrett Stidham setting a trap for Sean Payton? Okay. Well, let's get into that. Denver Broncos quarterback Jarrett Stidham seems to be setting a trap for Sean Payton. Stidham is organizing workouts with fellow offensive players in Texas. This is nothing new. Taking control of workouts and organizing them himself feels like he is the guy. Stidham said, and I quote, "I'm very confident I can be the guy for us next season. I have no doubts about that." End quote. No, not end quote. Yes, end quote. While Nix is the choice of the fans, Stidham is well liked in the locker room. Why? Because of last year, guys. Last year, Stidham played the last 2 games, and he played well. He went 1-1. That's okay. He won one game against the Chargers and lost the game against the Raiders. That's okay. That's understandable. It does happen. So, but he's well liked by his players in the locker room. Let me continue. He's not the people's champ, but he just might be the players' champ. Payton can't be pressured into picking Stidham just because it would be more popular with the locker room guys. I agree to that. You got to go to who is the best quarterback to win games. Is it Stidham? Fine. Is it Wilson? Okay. If it's Wilson, fine. If it's Bo Nix, okay, great. I don't care. I've said this many times. I said it last week, guys. I don't care who the starting quarterback is on the Denver Broncos, as long as we get wins. I don't care who it is. Bring John Elway out of retirement. I don't care. Whoever it is, as our quarterback, as long as we get wins, I don't care who it is. Sure, I know Bo Nix is our franchise quarterback down the road, or hopefully will be. But if he's not ready to be the starting quarterback and Stidham is, go for it. Who cares? Is this a popularity contest, guys, or is this about winning games, about making the playoffs, having a winning season, going deep in the playoffs? Which is more important to you, Broncos country? You want Bo Nix in there regardless? Wins, loss, or whatever? Or do you want somebody in there like Stidham who can produce wins? I'm not saying I'm advocating for Stidham. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what if? What if? If it's not Nix and it is Stidham and we're on a 4-1 run out of the first 5 games, are we taking Stidham out? Absolutely not. But if he's 1-4, yes, we do. So you see my point, guys? It's not about who's quarterback at this point in time. It's about wins and losses, period. It always has been with me, always will be with me. It's about wins and losses and championships and playoffs. That's what it's about. Let me continue. Let's hope Payton doesn't fall for the trap. Now, that wasn't me. That was from that article. Let's hope that Payton doesn't fall for the trap. That's not me. I've said I don't care who our quarterback is. So if Stidham wants to set a trap and Sean Payton falls into it and it seems to work out, fantastic. Fantastic. I totally welcome it. No problem whatsoever. But if Stidham does set this trap and Sean Payton does fall for it, which I don't think he will, but if he does fall for it and Stidham falls in his face and we go 1-4, then that was a stupid move. But we can't win either way, guys. You can't win either way. If you start Stidham, people are not going to like it. If you start Bo Nix and he goes 1-4, people aren't going to like it. Because why? Because it's about wins, period. That's what the game of sports is about, wins. Not second place, not almost making the playoffs. No, it's about winning games, getting into the playoffs, those kinds of things. That's what it's about. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Now, I got a footnote to that topic. Now, this came from Mundungus Creevy about 2 hours before the show went on, that Jarrett Stidham invited the entire offensive unit, as well as Bo Nix and Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson showed up. Bo Nix did show up, but he left because, unfortunately, what I talked about last week, that crash in Maryland involving 3 people, one of them being the draft pick by the Minnesota Vikings. I know that's going to hit my nephew pretty hard. But the 4th round draft pick in Tyree Jackson, that the Vikings drafted, the 4th round rookie. He was the cornerback for the Oregon Ducks on the same teams that Bo Nix played for. So Bo Nix left that voluntary practice down in Texas and flew to wherever the funeral was for Tyree Jackson. And that's why he wasn't there at that voluntary practice. Not that he didn't want to be, not that he wasn't invited, but because he definitely needed to be, he felt, to be at the funeral of his very close teammate in Tyree Jackson, the late Tyree Jackson, that passed away last week in that ugly car wreck that just totally destroyed their car and destroyed a lot of lives, a lot of families. So that's the reason why Bo Nix wasn't there. Sad, no doubt. I know it's going to hit Bo Nix hard. I don't doubt that. I know that he'll get past this, but I know it's going to be very difficult because when a family member or teammate, and teammates are family members, you live with them, year in, year out. Even if you're in college, it's for like 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. You get to know them. They get to be part of your, quote, football family. My heart goes out to Bo Nix, the entire Jackson family, the entire Oregon Ducks family, and for that matter, the entire Broncos organization family that this has happened. So that's why Bo Nix was not at that voluntary workout that Jarrett Stidham was putting on. All right. Okay. Wow. My Dolphin 69 is in the chat, says, I'm in Denver right now. It's my first time. All right. Well, enjoy your time. I hear it's pretty hot over there too. It's about 101. I heard they got to 101 or something in Denver. So enjoy your time, man. Enjoy your time, buddy. I wish I was in Denver myself, to tell you the truth. He follows up by saying Bo Nix is a hell of a player. I would have to agree. I'd have to agree. We just don't know what kind of player he's going to be at the NFL level. I'm assuming he's going to be rather, decent. I'm not saying he's going to be a C.J. Stroud in his very first year, or he's going to end up being a Patrick Mahomes. We don't know. Doesn't matter. He can be, for all I care, he can be a Tom Brady. I'll take that all day long. My Dolphin 69 says, I'm shocked that Nix didn't go higher. Yeah. Or are you talking about Nix? Or are you talking about Tyree Jackson? It could be Tyree Jackson. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. But yeah, either one. Well, Nix went number 12, so he's probably talking about Tyree Jackson. But man, what a shame. What an absolute shame. All right. My Dolphin 69 says, I'm a Washington Huskies fan. I know everything about Oregon. They are our sworn enemy. I'm a Huskies fan too, buddy. I really am. I'm a Washington Huskies fan. I'll tell you why. When I was a Vikings fan from 1970 to 1976, prior to being a Broncos fan, Washington Huskies have the same colors as the Minnesota Vikings, purple and gold. So I'm not a big college guy, but my dad would watch the bowl games, on New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, those kind of things. And Washington Huskies at that time were always seemingly in the bowl games. And I'd watch Washington. I'd go, hey, I was a kid. I was like a young teenager. I go, hey, those guys have the same color uniforms as the Minnesota Vikings, my favorite team. So guess what? Washington Huskies are now my favorite team. Always have been. I just don't like the uniforms now. I liked them back in the day when they were more purple, more gold. I like that. But they're just not that. They changed their colors. They changed their scheme. I'm just not a big fan of the colors. Still like the team. Absolutely still like the team. Just don't really like the colors scheme, the way they've changed them. But hey, it's awesome. Let's see. Okay, so my Dolphin 69 says, I think more like Justin Herbert. You mean you're talking about Justin Herbert in regards to Bo Nix? Okay, that's fine. I'll take that too. Justin Herbert's a heck of a quarterback. I just don't like the team he plays for, but he's a heck of a quarterback. So yeah, it's a good call. I would have to agree with that. Good call. Yes, they did win the Sugar Bowl. Dolphin 69 says we won the Sugar Bowl. Yes, they did win the Sugar Bowl. That's true. And I remember watching them when they were in the Rose Bowl several years. I think it was Washington Huskies and Ohio State or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Those are back in the years, but man, it was fun to watch. Just fun. I love watching the Huskies. Absolutely love it. Ohio State. Yep, you're right. See, I got it right. And Dolphin says he was there at the Rose Bowl. Ohio State. Sweet. That's awesome. 2019 Rose Bowl, he says. 2019. There you go. Oh, thanks, man. Graham says, sweet shirt. You guys can get it if you want in the MHRT store, Broncos Breakdown with Bronco Bill. It's all good, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. Love it. Dolphin, you got to go. Dolphin 69, you got to go see Mile High in Denver. You've got to. In Powerfield. Take a tour if you can. Take a tour. My wife surprised me in 2017 when we were there, and she got me all of us, because we had some friends with us too, got us a tour of Mile High. And man, I'll tell you what, so many pictures. I'm so glad it was digital. I took so many pictures, man, of anything and everything I could. Anything and everything. It was fantastic. We even got to go on the field, not the actual field. We had to stay, outside the field lines, but I was in the end zone, got to get pictures in the end zone. It was fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. You have got to go. If you can, it's worth it. Absolutely worth it, Dolphin 69. I would not steer you wrong. Absolutely not steer you wrong. It is amazing. It is fantastic. You actually go into the suites. You go into the press boxes. You get to see where they broadcast from. I don't want to spoil it for you, dude. I just want to get you excited. You go in the locker room. We weren't able to go in the Broncos locker room, but we were able to go in the visitors locker room. But man, if you get a chance, dude, you have got to go. You've absolutely got to go. All right. He says, I doubt I can. Oh man. Okay. Well, it would be amazing, man. It would be amazing if you can. You're there for take the whole wedding party over there, man. Take the whole wedding party. Say, hey man, we're going to tour my house. Do the wedding on the field, 50-yard line. You know what? I asked my wife. I did. I asked my wife. I said, babe, would you do me the honors of getting married on the 50-yard line at Mile High Stadium? You know what she said to me? Nope. You're kidding, right? I said, no, I'm not kidding. I said, I would love to. I'd love to. She said, not happen. So it didn't happen. But hey, it's all good. But man, well, good. Dolphin 69. I hope you enjoy the wedding. I hope it goes well. I hope that the married couple live to be forever. And I hope it's a great turnout. But in any case, if you can, at least make it over there and go look at some of those busts in at the beginning where all those horses are that lead up to the main entrance. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing, man. Just fantastic. It's really worth it. It's really worth it. All right. Justin Simmons. Now, I can't get away from Justin Simmons because he hasn't been signed by any team, but he could be looking at a different team. Now, last week I mentioned that the Kansas City Chiefs may be an option for him to pursue because the Chiefs are on a back-to-back Super Bowl run, and they're going for a three-peat or would like to go for a three-peat. And Justin Simmons could really fill a void in that safety spot and have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Another team has gotten into the mix. Here it is. Ever since Denver released Justin Simmons, his name and talent has been talked about with various teams. Well, a new team has emerged as a possible landing spot for Justin Simmons. Per Ravens Nation Live, Baltimore has had multiple conversations with Justin Simmons' representative. The Ravens could sign the free agent who may be attracted by the chance to play for a Super Bowl contender. Simmons plus Kyle Hamilton, that tandem would be a fun safety group to watch. San Francisco, New York Giants, and Detroit could be an option as well. I don't see the Giants as being an option. Absolutely not an option. Justin Simmons wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to play for a team that can give him that opportunity. That's why the Chiefs have been talked about, and now the Baltimore Ravens. But the Giants, no. San Francisco, certainly. Especially with John Lynch as being the GM. He would definitely like to have a Justin Simmons on a team. And Detroit, well, Detroit is kind of up and coming. I don't see them as a serious contender for the Super Bowl. I mean, they got close last year. Don't get me wrong. They got real close when they lost to San Francisco and had a huge lead at halftime prior to losing. So I can see that. The Giants, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If it's not the Chiefs, it's not the Ravens, it's not the Giants, and if it's not Detroit, I don't see any other team that has a serious chance of making the Super Bowl. 2 AFC teams in the Chiefs and the Ravens, 2 NFC teams in the 49ers and Lions. That's it. That's all I see. I mean, some people can make a case for Cleveland. Some people can make a case for Pittsburgh, although I doubt that. Some people can make a case for the Dolphins. I doubt that too. So who else? Minnesota? Well, maybe not. I mean, they don't have Kirk Cousins anymore. So is that realistic? I don't think so. The only one out of the AFC West would be the Chiefs. I don't see the Chargers, Raiders, or Broncos being, the team to make the Super Bowl. And obviously, Simmons isn't coming back to Denver. So we'll just keep our ear to the grindstone, so to speak, and keep our ear to the floor and see what we hear, and then just go from there, guys. Just go from there. So we'll see what happens. But I would like to see Justin Simmons win a Super Bowl. I mentioned that last week. I just don't want the Chiefs to three-peat. Why? Because it's never been done before, and I don't want it done by an AFC team in the Kansas City Chiefs. Just don't want it done. But if Justin Simmons goes to the Chiefs and they win the Super Bowl, I'll be happy for him. Not necessarily happy for the Chiefs three-peating, but happy for him. Although I will have to recognize the fact that if the Chiefs do a three-peat, that would be history above history because it's never been done before. Never been done before. All right. Okay. Graham chimes in about the Ravens, says, in my opinion, I don't think the Ravens are winning the Super Bowl. I don't either, but Simmons wants a chance to play in a playoff on a playoff team. He hasn't been on a playoff team. The Broncos haven't been to the playoffs since Simmons was on the team. That was after they won Super Bowl 50. So, yeah, he wants to play in the playoffs. He wants to experience that. And if the playoffs can take him deeper and deeper and deeper and ultimately to the Super Bowl, then great for him. I wish him all the best. I just would hate to see him go to a team just to get paid, like a Dolphins team or a Browns team or a Jets team. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I mean, he's already had 6-7 years in Denver that haven't been playoff bound. Well, I don't want to see that. I want to see him in the playoffs, and I want to see him doing well, and I want to see him have an opportunity to win the Super Bowl. Absolutely. Like I said, just don't want to be the Chiefs. I have no say in that. So, Graham says, are you surprised Jamal Adams was signed before Simmons? I was surprised. Absolutely. But again, I think though, Graham, in all honesty, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Justin Simmons is going to be 31 years old. I believe it's September. Sometime later in the year, he's going to be 31. And I think that has a lot to do with it. I also think that his contract has a lot to do with it. I don't think he wants to take a decrease in his salary. I don't think that for one moment. So I think those two things have a lot to do with it. And I mean, his talent is worthy of what he wants to get paid. Absolutely, no doubt about it. I just think a lot of teams are kind of laying low till after the preseason, kind of see where they are. Maybe after mini camps to see where they are, see if they have any need for a safety with Justin Simmons' talent. I think a lot of that, comes into play. So I think that's what the issue is. Not that Justin Simmons isn't good, because he's great. I just think a lot of these teams are just holding off until they can evaluate what they have and see if Justin Simmons would be a good fit or if Justin Simmons would want to go to that team. Remember, there may be teams out there that want Justin Simmons. He may not want to go there. He's going to sit back and just pick and choose who he wants. Maybe that's the issue. All right, guys, I am down to my last two topics for tonight. Thanks each and every one of you for being in the chat, for watching live, listening live, wherever you may be, whether it's in the United States or outside, whether it's inside California where I am or outside, doesn't matter. Thank you guys so much for taking the time on a busy Friday night. What you guys may have plans. It's summertime, family adventures, family vacations, that kind of thing. I just thank each and every one of you, always, each and every week, for taking the time out to listen to this crazy 65, almost 66-year-old guy to talk about Bronco sports and other sports. Thanks a lot, guys. Really do appreciate it. Graham says, what was he going to make in Denver this year? Wasn't it like 12 million? I'm not sure if a team is going to fork over that much at this point. The cap, that my understanding, Graham, that the Broncos saved by releasing Justin Simmons was 14.5 million. Okay. I don't know if that was for this year or for what, but it was 14.5 million is what the Broncos saved in releasing Justin Simmons. So you're right. I don't know that they would pay a 30/31-year-old safety that kind of money. Maybe not even on a 1-year contract. And I doubt that Justin Simmons sells for anything less, because by the Broncos cutting him, I still think that they have to pay him something. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a 14.4 or 14.5. But I do think they have to pay him something. I'm just not quite sure as to exactly what that might be. Anyways, all right. Next to the last topic of tonight's show is Broncos schedule from hardest to easiest in the teams that they have to play. And I'm going to give my own opinion whether I agree with it or I don't. Here we go. The Denver Broncos have the 13th easiest NFL schedule based on the 2023 records of their opponents. This is the list of the 14 opponents from hardest to easiest. Now, why is it 14 and not 17? Because they play the Chiefs, Chargers, and Raiders twice. So you don't count them again. Okay, here we go. The hardest to the easiest. Here's number one. Baltimore Ravens on the road. Ravens last year was 13-4. I'll agree with that. No doubt about it. Second, Kansas City Chiefs, home and away. Their record was 11-6. I'll agree with that. Baltimore, Kansas City, 1-2, no doubt. Cincinnati Bengals on the road. Their record was 9-8. Denver was 8-9. Bengals, okay. I'll call that a draw. The third hardest, but it's on the road. So maybe that's why it was given the third hardest. Okay. Fourth out of 14. Cleveland Browns at home. They were 11-6 last year. All right. Is Cleveland really that good? Well, Deshaun Watson was, pretty good. That team was, we beat Cleveland last year. So can we beat them again? We're at home. Can we beat them again? I say that's not a hard team. That's not a hard team the way I see it. All right. Number 5, Jets on the road. They were 7-10. Are you kidding me? The Jets, the 5th hardest team the Broncos are playing? No way. Maybe it's because of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they think Aaron Rodgers is going to be better. And, he's going to get past the Achilles tendon. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. 5th hardest? But again, we're on the road, so maybe that has something to play into it. All right. Number 6, Chargers, home and away. Their record 5-12. No freaking way is that the 6th hardest team we have to play. No way. And I know Justin Herbert's a good quarterback, and I know that they have Harbaugh as their head coach now. But I'm not saying that's the 6th hardest team we're going to face. Not when their record was 5-12. Are you kidding me? No way. No way am I subscribing to that. Number 7, Pittsburgh Steelers at Broncos, 10-7 last year. Steelers, Russell Wilson. We know what Russell Wilson did last year for the Broncos. You think that the Steelers are the 7th hardest team? Right there, smack dab in the middle of the 14 teams? No. I'm not advocating to that at all. Steelers are not the 7th hardest. No way. Number 8, Indianapolis Colts, we have them at home. They were 9-8. Okay, again, middle of the road. They were 9-8. We were 8-9. Colts, not buying it. Not buying the Colts. We got them at home. I say no way. That's an easy win for Denver. In my opinion, that's an easy win. Number 9, Falcons. Atlanta Falcons at Denver. They were 7-10. Denver had a better record. We were 8-9. They have Kirk Cousins, but he's coming off an Achilles tendon. How's that going to be? Denver has the Falcons at home. I say that's not hard, but it's not the easiest, but it's not that hard. I say Denver could take that game. All right. Buccaneers, number 10, on the road. They were 9-8. Denver was 8-9. Buccaneers on the road. Okay. Possibly, but they don't have Tom Brady anymore. So that shouldn't be all that difficult. So again, I don't see that as being that difficult, but it all hinges, guys. It all hinges on how the Broncos play. How's our offense going to be? How's our defense going to be? Are we going to be able to stop anybody? Are we going to be able to stop the run, the pass? We don't have Justin Simmons. We don't have Josie Jewell. We don't have Cushenberry as our center. There's a lot of variables that come into this, but I'm just looking at it as how this is laid out. Okay. All right. Number 11, New Orleans Saints on the road. They were 9-8 last year. That to me is going to be a very tough game. And the reason why is not because the Saints were 9-8 last year, and not because we're necessarily on the road, but because Sean Payton is going back to New Orleans, where he was loved, adored, cherished, the whole bit. And he's now a Broncos head coach. That's not going to be easy for him to put away or put aside those emotions. And whether they give him a tribute or not, it's going to be very difficult for him to put aside those emotions. All right. Number 12, Seattle Seahawks, opening day on the road. They were 9-8. I don't see that to be a problem at all. I don't see that to be a problem at all. Why? Geno Smith? Come on. Seriously? No. I don't see that being a tough game at all. And then number 13, the Raiders, home and away. Raiders were the same record as us, 8-9. Home and away. I don't see the Raiders being a problem either. I really don't. They're a mess. I know we don't know who our starting quarterback is, but they're a mess. So I don't see that being a hard game at all. And the easiest game of all on paper, number 14, Carolina Panthers. We have them at home. They were 2-15 last year. I don't see that being a problem either. So I would say out of all that, I would say I agree with maybe a handful of the games. I agree with Baltimore. I agree with Baltimore, Kansas City, Bengals to a certain degree because we're on the road. But I really don't, I mean, the Saints on the road, I agree with that. It's going to be tough. But I don't agree with the Jets being number 5. No freaking way. No way do I agree with that. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Graham says, what was he going to make? Oh, yeah, you already said that. What is he going to make it different? Yeah, 14.5. So that means he'd be done in the NFL. Possibly. It means he could be. I mean, if he doesn't want to sign with anybody, talking about Justin Simmons, doesn't want to sign with anybody, then yeah. Unless he caves in or a team just says, yeah, we want you that badly, we'll pay you that. It'd be sad. It would be sad if he hung him up. Definitely, no doubt. All right. Let's get into the last topic. This is what I call a feel-good story. Really good feel-good story. One of the most important pieces prior to enshrinement week at Canton is receiving the famous gold jacket made by Hager Company. Randy Gradishar was so excited to receive his gold jacket that he didn't even look inside, which bears his name. If you look at it, if you open up the gold jacket, and I've seen this before, you open it up, I've seen it on not in person, but video. You open it up, and over here by the pocket, it says something along the lines of, Hall of Fame enshrinement, gives the year and the name. Okay, gives you your year and a name. Randy Gradishar was so excited to get the jacket and wanted to put it on so fast. He didn't even see that his name and what it said in there. But when somebody pointed out, let me continue. When somebody pointed out, he exclaimed, and I quote, "My name's on it. My name's in here," end quote. Excitement. Come on, you know that excitement was when you get the gold jacket or any award that anybody has won. It's an achievement. It's an award. It's an achievement. It's a lifetime. In this instance, it's a lifetime achievement from Pop Warner per se to high school to college to the NFL to the Hall of Fame. Let me continue. Once he saw his name inside, he couldn't wait to try on the jacket. By the way, it was a perfect fit. Of course it was. Of course it was. Randy Gradishar, you deserve every single bit of enjoyment, excitement, whatever you're feeling emotionally, you deserve every single bit of it. You are a Hall of Famer, my friend. Randy Gradishar, elected into the Hall of Fame that will happen this August. I cannot wait to listen and watch his induction, his speech induction. It's going to be fantastic. Long overdue, Randy. Long overdue. Congratulations on receiving your gold jacket, putting it on, feeling how great that feels. And by the way, noticing your name inscribed right on the inside part of that jacket. Congratulations once again, Randy. Cannot wait for August. And I know deep down inside, you can't wait either. It's going to be electric. It's going to be enjoyable. It's long overdue. And man, the Orange Crush defense is finally getting recognized for what they did and what they accomplished in the 70s. It is long overdue, and more Orange Crush defensive players need to be enshrined into Canton, Ohio in these upcoming years. No doubt about it. That's it, guys. Excuse me. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. I greatly appreciate it. It helps out the MHRT network. Also helps out my channel. Just look for this logo right here when you go to it. Broncos Breakdown on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button. That lets everybody else know that you enjoy the show. You enjoy the content. You enjoy the viewership. And thanks so much, guys, for taking that time. Like I said, it costs you nothing. Just a little click of the mouse that lets everybody else know that you enjoy the show. Guys, once again, thanks so much for being in the chat. Each and every one of you. I'm going to go down the list real quick like I always do. If you guys can take the time to be in the chat, I can take the time to recognize who you are. G-Money88 started out, followed by Graham. My brother-in-law from Vegas, Rudy Torres. Go down the list is D-Rock. In the chat, Madungus Creevy. Thank you so much, Madungus. Even though you said blinded by the light, it's all good, man. Oh, Keith, I didn't bring you up, man. I didn't see you. Keith O'Donnell said Bo Nix is also there. Yeah, you're right. He was there, but he did leave because of the impending funeral. Keith, thanks so much for being in the chat. Really do appreciate it. My Dolphin 69, thank you so much for being in the chat. Appreciate it as always. You guys constantly support me. I really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. Like I've said many times, if it wasn't for you guys showing up, being in the chat, taking the time out, I might as well not be doing this show. But you guys make it worthwhile. You make it enjoyable. And I look forward to Fridays all the time so I can just chat with you guys, have a really good night of topics. And thanks again, guys, so much. Much appreciated. Guys, until next Friday, I'll be back home, back in my comfort zone. But until then, guys, have a wonderful, fantastic Friday night wherever you may be. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to go outside now and enjoy my grandkids who showed up over here to go swimming. So I'm going to go join them. And then, like I said, guys, until next Friday, have a fantastic weekend. We will talk to you then. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Pimples been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, work hard.